It's mid-October and we're getting on towards Halloween, so it's time for all the brands to bring out their Halloween-themed sneakers. There's, of course, the Air Force One skeletal with that outline of the bones of the foot along the lateral side. And there are other big shoes coming down the line from all the brands to celebrate Halloween, to ride that sort of wave as we get into the Halloween vibe. Of course, it's good for business, but it's also good for you and me because we get to see some cracking shoes. Now, last year, there was these guys right here, the Nike SB Dunk Low Night of Mischief, I think I'm right in saying the name of that shoe was, and that's the shoe I chose to do for the Halloween kind of theme of the year 2019. But here in 2020, there's an Air Max 97 that's coming along that we're doing today, and we'll be talking about that in today's video, and also doing a little bit of comparison and talking about a little bit of optional mashups with this shoe and thinking about it in a different way, taking one shoe out of my collection as well and saying why I think my shoe might be a little bit better than this shoe. Sorry, Air Max 97 fans out there. And then, of course, having a look at some of the spectacular, absolutely fire hits on this shoe, because there are two particular places that just fly off of this shoe. So without further ado, let's get into this and talk about the upcoming release of the Nike Air Max 97 Slime. This is the Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel desu. Mainichi upside down, mainichi mite kudasai. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. I'm going to start this video by telling you, or I should say, I'm asking you to tell me to wear these. I brought them out recently for, it was an Air Force One Obsidian, Air Force One Craft Obsidian video, and these are the Air Max 95 Obsidians or Mount Fuji's, depending on where you get your information from, and it was all about the colour blue and what makes Obsidian blue, but that in that video I accidentally called these Air Max 97s and corrected myself very, very quickly. I was like, oh, bonehead, they're Air Max 95s, but I love this silhouette. And I like Air Max 90s, and I like Air Max 2s, and I like Air Max 1s, but then when we get into 97s and 98s, things get a little bit ropey for me. I think this sort of midsole air unit on these guys is classic and very iconic, but then if you look at these guys with that sort of full length thing going on, they start to get a bit sort of, actually Air Max 180s as well, and I should say Air Max 93s or 270s, if you know what I'm talking about. That was my first ever real shoe. Of course, I owned shoes before having an Air Max 270 or 93, whichever way you want to call it, but that's the first shoe that I ever got that I was like, wow, this is a thing to get into. So yeah, Air Max, anything before 95, 95s and before, it's a bit like the Jordan line, anything for the Jordan 13s and before, most people are pretty on with, but after the 14s it's and then in Air Max 97s it's but you know what, today's one actually makes the grade. That's where I am with Air Max Jordan 14s, is that some make it and some don't, if you know what I'm saying, but these guys are in that kind of area. It's like some Air Max 97s, they don't make it for me, and some do, and this one absolutely definitely does. But I need you guys to tell me to wear this shoe, because I haven't worn it yet, and it's starting to discolor in the air unit because it's just sitting there in my closet, and I actually should put them on my feet before they fall apart. So tell me in the comments down below, give me an order, put it in all caps and say wear the shoe, don't just sit it in a cupboard somewhere. That's terrible, and I need to be told to do that, because this is what happens when you buy a shoe and you let it sit, is then it becomes a thing and you never wear it. So I've got to wear these shoes and get them out of the box and actually use them. So but anyway, enough about that. Let's get into this shoe today and talk about what's going on with this Air Max 97 Slime, or Halloween, depending on which way you look at that. So it's a great looking shoe, a lot of big hits on it, a lot of details coming into play on it, and I want to take you through each one of those bit by bit, and look at the different elements of the shoe. Now, especially what we'll be talking about is the 3M branding, where it is and where it isn't, and I do have one little question before we get into that, and it's about the Sean Wotherspoon Air Max 97 Air Max 1 mashup. Now, if I remember rightly, it's a 97 upper and an Air Max 1 midsole. Please tell me in the comments down below. I'd love to know if there's ever been a mashup between the 95s and the 97s, a 97 upper and a 95 midsole unit. I'd love to know if that's ever been a thing, so I think that'll be an absolutely fire shoe, and it would really tick all my boxes, because the 97 upper is absolutely iconic and the 95 midsole is fantastic, so those two together would be stellar. So yeah, tell me in the comments down below if you know that's a thing, has been a thing, will be a thing. I'd love to know. So yes, into the shoe. let's talk about all the details on it. I did bring up those Night of Mischiefs. I'll bring them back up again because that shoe, when I saw this shoe, today's shoe, I was like reminded of it. And I think it's to do with the purples on there. Even though the Night of Mischief had a lot more in the orange lines, it's the purples on there that really sort of made it jump out at me. So I don't know if you can hear that. My dog's trying to dig a hole in the sofa. Nah. So yeah, the last year's shoe, the SB Dunk Lows Night of Mischief, and for some reason when I saw this shoe today, it reminded me of that. I thought, right, that's going to be my Halloween shoe for 2020. So let's get into that, and we'll look at the one feature that really did sort of set me off right away, and that's the purple suede mudguard that runs along the length of this shoe, and it's a really clean, very deep purple. It's got that kind of Halloween feel about it. Purple, orange, green. I think those three colours together kind of make the Halloween vibe, and that big splash of purple suede that runs along the length of the shoe is a big deal. Now what I want to do in that area is look at the three different places where there's the drippy, melty kind of light green paint effect going on. Two on the lateral side, one on the medial side, and then we'll look at the reflective bits, and then we'll come back to that paint. So paint first, lateral side. Two places where the paint kind of sort of drips down. One is in that mid-foot sort of unit that's cut out of the purple mudguard area with the swoosh in there and a bit of branding in there, and you can see the paint dripping down. And then if you travel just a little bit further back from there, again along the purple mudguard, you can see a little bit of drippiness along the back of the shoe towards the heel. Both lateral side, two drippy bits of green. And then if we roll it around and have a look at the medial side, you can see that mid-foot branding element where the drippy bit of green going on is replicated on the medial side. But then if you go back towards the heel, you can see, hopefully on the green screen this is working out, that there is no drippy paint at the back. So one place on the medial and then back to the lateral side, two places on that. So keep that in your mind. We're going to come back to that after we've looked at this. Doing. There's the shoe in reflective mode, and there are two different elements to the reflective mode, and there's one question. So we'll start with the main element, which is blatantly obvious, and that's the glow-in-the-dark green outsole on these guys, which is absolutely fire. It's very, very cool. It's extreme. Even in the non-glow-in-the-dark, let's go back to non-glow-in-the-dark so you can get an idea what the outsole looks like. It's got a real cool kind of lime green vibe to it, but then if we go back to the glow-in-the-dark, you can see what it looks like under light. Very, very cool. And then a different kind of reflective up high is two of the many horizontal lines that run through the length of an Air Max 97 are in that 3M branded sort of hit up top there, and again it gives you that reflective element. And then just a hint in this view here is if you look along the side of the tongue, you can see it looks like the tongue has a bit of 3M branding going on it as well. Now let's come back to the lateral side just to look at the shoe so you can see what it looks like without the 3M, without the light shone on it. And it's kind of interesting to me that they have that 3M branding, just at that 3M hit, just in two of the lines and not sort of more on the shoe. We'll go up and have a look down into the insole on these guys, because the insole's got that lime green feel to it as well. So I wonder if they actually glow in the dark. You wouldn't really know it unless you weren't wearing the shoes, but it does look like there could be a little bit of glow in the dark on those insoles, and if not, it still fits the sort of narrative of the shoe very, very well. And then back to the lateral side, like I said, those two lines, we'll come back to the reflective side so you can see what I'm talking about, are the only things on the upper that are reflective. And then back to the lateral, and we're back to those drippy green elements. My question was, why aren't the drippy green elements in 3M reflective material? I don't think it would be that hard to do it, and it would look really, really cool under lights if you've got that kind of drip of what it would look like as drip of blood or something for the Halloween vibe. So we're back on the reflective side, and you can see it is just those two lines running along parallel with each other, kind of waving along the length of the shoe with not a hint at all of that drippy paint feel. So my question is, do you think they should have? I think they should have, and why didn't they go with 3M materials on those drippy bits, both medial and the two places on the lateral side? Now, let's go around to the back of the shoe, because there's one little thing that I wanted to talk about. I said that the insoles fit the narrative of the shoe, even if they don't glow in the dark, they still are in that lime green that matches down below. The back of the shoe is a bit of a sort of like, wonder why they did that. And it's the colour of the branding that runs vertically up and down the back of the shoe. I was kind of like, that doesn't really fit with the shoe. The purples and the lime greens and all that from the front, 99% of the shoe, they don't seem to be echoed very many places with this sort of red down the back. There is maybe an argument that the swooshes on the medial and the lateral side, very small, more orange than red though. So it didn't really make much sense. I think purple or green, lime green would have been a better colour on the back of these guys to really bring out that sort of narrative and that Halloween vibe for this shoe. And then back out looking at the shoes again as a unit. Like I said, usually I'm not a huge fan of 97s, especially because of that full-length Air unit. I think it's something about it just doesn't fit my eye. I like the 95s with the sort of compartmentalized parts to it. But that's just me. That's just my thing. Other people out there love their 97s. We all have differences of opinion. I have not a problem with people disagreeing with me. I don't expect everyone to just follow what I say and say, oh yes, I must agree with you to watch your channel. Feel free to disagree with me and drop comments down below if you're a Nike Air Max 97 lover. Okay, time for me to sign off. It is just past midnight on... What day is it today? Wednesday. This video will probably go up on the weekend sometime. So thanks for checking it out. The shoe drops on August the 20th, which is 11 days before Halloween. Perfect time to ride that wave into Halloween. So if you're interested, check it out, October the 20th. You'll be in for a really enjoyable, fun shoe for this Halloween season. Okay, time for me to sign off and get away and put this video up into the computer. So thank you guys very much for checking out the content as usual. Truly, truly appreciate it. And I'll say the thing I say at the end of every single video, which is I do this every single day. So you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.